Hey guys, what's going on? Megan here. What happens when you train with very, very low testosterone? I'm talking hypogonadal testosterone levels. What happens? So I was looking for ideas for today's Testosterone Thursday, and I dug up this old study. I have archives of hundreds and hundreds of studies, and sometimes I just look through them and I'm like, hey, let's make a video about this. Now, this one was interesting because it answers a lot of questions. What happens when you train with low testosterone? Does it make a huge difference? Does it matter? As long as you progressively overloading and choosing the right exercises, does it matter if you train with very low testosterone levels, or is it something you should fix right away? Well, let's find out. This study is actually hilarious because you see when I get to the details, like I don't know why the people volunteered for this study because I never would. All right, back to the video. So this is what they did, right? You had two groups of people, right? You have group one, young men, and you had group two, right? So two groups of young men. They were pretty much untrained, so you could expect obviously to see a large increase in muscle mass. They were about 24 years old, right? So like I said, mid 20s, and they were put on an 8-week training program, right? And this is the hilarious part. Group one was obviously the control group, right? So they were just training for 8 weeks. Standard protocol, 3 times a week, the basic movements, for every body part, chest, back, legs, 3 to 4 sets, 6 to 10, basic standard workout protocol. And group two was obviously training, but here's the difference. They were injected with glycerolin. And for those who are not familiar with how it works, pretty much it shuts down testosterone production completely, right? It shuts down your natural testosterone production. In case you need a refresher, testosterone production starts in the brain, right? Your hypothalamus sends a signal to your pituitary gland. So you have gonadotropin releasing hormone, comes out of the hypothalamus, goes to the pituitary gland, causes it to release luteinizing hormone, which obviously goes to your balls and converts cholesterol into testosterone, right? Again, as always, I'm skipping a bunch of steps, but let's keep the video short. So back to the study, yeah. So they inject these guys with glycerolin, and that's why I'm laughing is because I don't know who the hell would volunteer for that. I would never volunteer to have my testosterone production shut down. And look what happened. First, obviously, their testosterone levels were shut down. As you can see, the normal testosterone group, they stayed at about 600, right? About 640 nanogram per deciliter, which is within the normal range. The normal range is between 300 to 1,000. So these guys were within the normal range. And the glycerolin group dropped, and this is the funniest part, dropped to 57, right? So the testosterone levels dropped from over 600. It was initially 650 for them, and dropped all the way to 50, which is pretty much within the range of what a woman has. Women have anywhere between 10 to 60. So their T levels were crushed, right? Crushed. And again, that was the goal of the study, right? To see what happens when you train with super, super low testosterone levels. Now let's look at the results. The normal group put on about 10%, right? As far as strength gains, right? So their strength increased about 10%, which is pretty good, pretty decent. But look at this, guys. The glycerolin group only had about 2%, 2.6% increase in strength, which is laughable. Keep in mind, these guys followed relatively the same training protocol, everything. But look at the increase in strength, which is to show you how important your hormonal health is. You just can't compromise it, right? Same protocol, same progressive overload, same everything, right? But look at the increase in strength from the group that pretty much had a testosterone production shut down. This is laughable. They put on about 5 times less strength than the normal group. Next, let's look at lean mass, right? So the leg lean mass. Not surprisingly, they did put on some mass, but as you can tell, there's a clear difference, right, between the amount of mass put on by the normal group that had normal testosterone levels and the guys that were shut down. Clear difference. You have about 3.6% here compared to about 5.5% here, right? So not only they put on less strength, but they obviously put on less muscle mass, right? And of course, they did put some muscle. You're gonna put on some muscle, right? Because testosterone is not the only agent when it comes to building muscle. You still have myostatin, you have follistatin, and a bunch of other agents that are responsible for muscle growth. But as you can clearly see, they put in the same work and got less gains. And here's the hilarious part, the group that had normal testosterone levels lost fat, right? Which is what usually happens when you're new to the gym and you follow a good protocol. Most of the time, you're gonna go through a recomp, right? You're gonna put on some lean muscle, and you might even lose fat. So the normal group lost about 3.5% of fat, but check out the glycerolin group. These guys actually put on fat. They put on about 9% of fat mass. Same protocol, same training, same eating, right? But these guys lost fat and obviously get, build muscle and strength, whatever. Whereas these guys not only put on less strength, less muscle, but they gain fat, which is what I've been telling you guys for years. Testosterone is not just for muscle building. It's a very, very potent hormone for fat loss. And I explained in several videos, it increases your metabolic rate, it increases your fat oxidation, it increases the amount of better receptors in your fat cells, on and so forth, right? And as you can see here, I mean, this is ridiculous. 9% increase in fat mass while following the same protocol and same diet. And this is why I said earlier in the video that I would never volunteer for a study like this. Like, I don't care how much you're paying me. Never volunteer. Now, again, this is an ethical study. Obviously, the guys knew what they were signing up for. And of course, the testosterone levels went back to normal. But it took about 6 months. It took about 6 months after the study was over for the T levels to go back to normal. But still, just to show you how important having optimal hormone levels is for muscle building and body composition in general. And that's why I tell you guys time and time again, you could train all you want. You could follow all the principles of training, all the principles of dieting, calorie in, calorie out, progressive, blah, blah. You could do all of that. You could do all of that. But if your hormones are not optimized, you're wasting your time. So optimize your hormones, guys. Even in the healthy range. Even in the healthy range, it matters. Watch my video on how to optimize your testosterone levels naturally, right? You don't have to hop on TRT, especially if you're young. Like I have a lot of young guys trying to hop on TRT. I'm like, what are you doing? Unless you're like 60 years old or you have a medical condition, you have no business hopping on TRT. But again, that's just my opinion. I'm not a doctor. I'm not allowed to make these recommendations. That's just my opinion if you want to hear it. If you're young, if you're healthy, I'm always going to recommend that you do it the right way. That you do it the natural way. Because once you hop on TRT, there's no going back. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of the study. Is this something that you guys would volunteer for? If you have suboptimal testosterone levels, and I mean really suboptimal, and you're not seeing gains in the gym, or you're struggling to put on mass, hey, get checked. And this is not me pushing out my sponsor. I've been making these videos on testosterone for years. In fact, that's how my sponsor found me. So make sure you optimize your levels, especially if you're a male, and best of luck in your muscle building journey. Alright guys, don't forget to like the video, subscribe and hit the bell. Visit my website and grab a copy of my ebook and training program. Go to www.team3dalpha.com and don't forget to use the 40% off coupon code Nucleus Overload.